Hey, I'm Nate Savage, and I want to show you 6 really simple exercises to start getting your coordination for fingerstyle guitar together. Okay, the first one, and this is where you need to start if you want to get into fingerstyle guitar, is just being able to hit accurate bass notes with your thumb. And I have a thumb pick on, but I don't always use a thumb pick. Sometimes I just use my finger. It's really up to you and what you want to do, but just being able to consistently hit an A string or an E string, whichever one you want, just a single bass note, is really the first step to getting into fingerstyle guitar. That's going to save you a lot of headache and frustration if you really spend the time to get your accuracy up with your thumb. So that's the first little pattern or thing you need to build for coordination for fingerstyle. The second thing is to get to where you can alternate between bass notes. And you should only do this after you spend some time on working on your aim with your thumb on single notes. And it may take a week or a month. It really depends on how much you put in the work on this, but the more time you put in with this, the better. So maybe just alternate between your A and D strings. Get really accurate at that. Make this part of your daily routine. You want to get into fingerstyle. And then maybe just alternate between E and A. But normally I have my heel of my hand planted right here on the guitar. And maybe my fingers are touching the top of the guitar, the high strings, just to keep track of where I am. It's a little bit easier that way. But also, if I'm doing like classical guitar, my hand can be floating. It doesn't really matter, it just depends what you want to do for yourself and which way you want to develop this. But that's really the first 2 steps. Step number 3 throws in the fingers, and what you're going to do is just play quarter notes with your thumb on any string. I'm going to use a C chord for the rest of this lesson. So I'm going to be playing the lowest note of that C chord, the lowest root note of that C chord with my thumb. And then my top 3 strings I'm going to get with my first, second, and third fingers. And that's going to be kind of the formula for all the chords I play throughout this particular lesson. So all you're going to do is play quarter notes with your thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. But you're also going to throw in your fingers on just beat 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is where the first 2 little things that we went over are going to come in very handy, and you're going to see why it's so critical. If you can't hit that A string really accurately, you're going to have a hard time playing this exercise. And again, one thing that helps me is planting my wrist right here on the bridge if I'm using a thumb pick, or if I'm not using a thumb pick and doing more classical style, then just being aware and really training my body of where that A string is and building that coordination to kind of pinch with my thumb and my fingers at the same time. So you're just building a coordination that's really necessary for fingerstyle guitar. And you can apply this to any chord progression you like. I'm going to play a C, F, and a G. You'll probably notice that my bass note changed. I changed to the low E string on the F and G chord because I'm sticking with my kind of rule that I said, play the lowest root note over whatever chord you're playing. So on the E string, first fret when you're playing an F, still playing the top 3 strings with my 3 fingers. And then when I change to a G, playing the low E string, that low G root note. But it can be any chord progression you want. This is a really good one to get down. Super common key to playing when you're playing fingerstyle stuff is C, and that's a super common chord progression too. C, F, and G. All right, next example takes our coordination a little bit further and just alternates between the thumb and the fingers. It's kind of the same way we did earlier. I guess it's easier to show you than it is to actually talk about it, so I'll just do this. So thumb on the low A string with a C chord, and then fingers on the top 3 strings. And if you need to spend time being able to get where you can play all 3 strings on top with your fingers, just do that. But put a C chord on and just alternate between that low bass note, thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers. And I'm muting the low E string with my thumb just to make sure I don't accidentally hit it. But that's the coordination you want to work on. That's very slow at first. And you'll notice every time my thumb goes down, my fingers go out to prepare. And every time my fingers play the top strings, my thumb comes back to prepare on the So you get this kind of give and take going here with your fingers and thumb. But once you get that down with one chord, then you can put it in a chord progression like the C, F, G. Okay, I should mention this at this point. This video, going through this, if you're new to fingerstyle, may take you literally weeks or even months. Probably more like months if you're new to it, because there's a lot of coordination to build if you're new to it. The next little pattern we have is kind of the same as the last one, but instead of just having one bass note for that C chord, what we're going to do is start alternating bass. So from the 5th string to the 4th string, or the A string to the G string. So thumb, fingers, switch strings on your thumb, fingers. And this is why getting that alternating bass down, like first step, is the most important thing. The more time you spend on that, the easier the rest of these examples will be. But just spend time doing that as slow as you need to. And if you need to take a couple weeks to work on this pattern, that's totally fine. And once you get it down with one chord, then you can start trying to do any progression, for example, the C, F, G that we have. All right, this last little coordination building exercise for fingerstyle kind of works a different part of your brain because there's some syncopation involved with your fingers. Let me show you what I mean. All right, the foundation for this pattern, is just quarter notes with your thumb on that low C note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me slow that down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to grab the top 3 strings on the 1 as well. 1, 2, and then on the end of 2, you're going to hit the strings, top 3 strings again with your fingers, and then keep your bass going. So 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So you're on the beat with all thumbs and fingers for 1, 1, 2, and then you have the syncopated feel on the end of 2 with your fingers, which again kind of engages a different part of your brain. So go really slow. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. And this one might take you a while to get down. Totally fine. Just work consistently on it over the following months. And when you get it for one chord, put it in your progression C, F, G. Make sure to get the bass notes changing when the different chords come around. So. So those are some great coordinations to build with fingerstyle guitar. And again, if you're new to this, spend a lot of time on the first 2, those single bass notes and the alternating bass notes. Let me know what you're having trouble with in the comments, and let me know how long you've been playing fingerstyle guitar below. See you later.